Welcome back to the game room, where I'm kind of running out of new intros. I try to come up with stuff sometimes during the week, and like, this could be funny, and that's not.
You gotta start writing them down.
Yeah, I wrote down a few when I hosted.
Did you really?
What were some of the good? What were some of the best?
I didn't really have any good ones.
Damn.
I did the Back to the Future 2 one.
Yeah, that was timely though.
Is that
timely.
Is that why you were such an angry host?
Why?
So stressed out about being the host?
Maybe.
Over-prepared.
I wrote everything down.
He did have like a full page.
The tyrant is gone.
You know,
you were like the what Prince? What's his face to the king? Who's you call it from Robin Hood? Help me out.
Prince John.
Prince John to the
King Richard.
There you go, King Richard. I knew it.
Long live King Richard!
I knew as soon as I just threw some stuff out there, everyone would know what I was talking about.
And then King Richard comes back and he's like, all right, bro.
I was only
calm down.
I was only really a dick to Mike.
Yeah.
I threw him out 4 times. It was great. It was fun. I liked hosting. Anyway.
Power
I bet you did.
Yeah. Hi.
You did fine. You did a swell job. With me, as always, this week, Patman,
Hello.
Cresco,
What's that?
Mikey,
Ahoy hoy.
and that's right, host tyrant himself, Rye
Jumbo.
What?
Hello in Kenyan.
Bring a hello from
I'm
other
going-
languages.
That's
every
my
time.
plan.
I like it.
That's my plan.
That's pretty good. So, gentlemen, would you like to hear what's new in the news?
Never.
If you insist.
Oh, well, I do. So, Chris Olsen of Sega, chief operating something or other of America's something.
Sega of America.
He's come out and he said, "We're not going to make any more bad Sonic games, we promise."
Unbelievable.
Yeah, this is also probably the dozenth time we've heard something like
There's
that.
a chuckle from around the room. What bothers me about Sega is that they have so many great IPs that they ignore in favor of shitty Sonic games.
Like what, Pat? What did they ignore?
Valkyria Chronicles
Oh.
for one. Skies.
Yeah,
They could do anything with that franchise and
Be great.
and
Fantasy
just
Star.
have free money. pouring
Fantasy
in.
Star. They could do a remake of Dragon Force that I would buy 10 times.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh.
At least 10 times. Like I'd go on Amazon and I'd click that one and I'd make it a 10.
Make it 10.
I'd order 10.
10 quantity.
And I've just given you guys, like, here, have
Oh, sweet.
have probably one of the best games you're going to play.
What am I going
this
to play this on?
year. You can come over to my place.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
But
You
you
can
have
play
your
it
own
on
copy,
anything
that's
you
the
want, but
Yeah.
you'll have your own copy.
Have your own copy.
Sweet.
Sega has a lot of properties that they could do something with that they refuse to, and I'll never understand it. I just don't get it.
Because Sonic, man, too fast.
It's
Well,
their...
here's my thing. Sonic was what was basically what made Sega a big name in the 16-bit days. But in the 3D gaming world we live in, does Sonic really have a place anymore? I don't think so.
No,
Well,
that's not true. You could make a great Sonic game. They just don't.
You could.
Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast was pretty good.
Right.
Yes.
And
So-
Sonic CD wasn't individually awful. It's just...
Wasn't individually.
It was a 2D Sonic game, and there are no bad 2D Sonic games. There are no bad 16-bit 2D Sonic games. There are no bad 2D 16-bit Sonic games that weren't puzzle games. John, you've had some.
What's wrong with Sonic Spinball? Are we talking about Sonic Spinball?
I love Sonic Spinball.
Yeah.
Sonic Spinball was
It's
great.
also not a puzzle game. Well, I guess it could be.
Oh, I thought that's
It
what
was
you were
kind
going
of a
for.
puzzle.
No.
What puzzle game were we talking about?
Dr.
Robotnik's
Robotnik's Mean Bean
Machine.
Machine.
I don't,
Wait.
I don't remember.
You didn't like that?
I don't remember Sonic being in that game anywhere.
That probably wasn't.
It was-
John, you've been itching to say something for
It was
like
a
10
Dr.
minutes.
Eggman game.
No, I'm just gonna wait.
I
know.
think he wants to move
But I wanna
the
hear what you
conversation
did.
forward.
No, I actually had way more to talk about with this Polygon interview,
Oh.
and like, it went I don't even know where to put this in now. We went from
Wherever
talking about
comfortable.
Sonic, and then there was like Sonic Spinball was thrown in there, whether or not it was a puzzle game. I actually think it is a puzzle game. But anyway, here's why he's saying it's not going to suck anymore. If you read into this little sit-down he had with Polygon, he says that what they're going to have to do is go where the gamers are. Now,
What's that mean?
here's what that
Yeah.
means. They're going to focus on their mobile games. That's what I think. That's where this is going. And that's what they allude to in this entire interview. So he even mentions that if you look, the audience is skewing younger and younger, and then mentions the new Sonic cartoon on Cartoon Network.
Ew.
Doesn't...
Sonic Boom.
Yeah,
Sonic Boom.
yeah.
So their last
Oh,
game
that one?
that they
Not
made
new.
was, what was that? Sonic
Boom.
Sonic something or other, Rise of Lyric.
Yeah.
Now,
The worst selling one ever, you mentioned?
yeah, and to your point, what they were trying to do with that game, they can make a good platforming traditional Sonic game, and it's called Sonic Adventure Battle 2.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was reviewed very well, received very well, sold very well.
Right.
They
Good
tried
game.
to emulate it, and they couldn't do it.
Mhm.
Since they can't do it, since they can't seem to recapture that magic, they're gonna say, "Screw it! We're gonna make something that's called a Sonic game, but not really a Sonic game anymore." And that's why they're saying, "We're not gonna make bad Sonic games anymore because they're not gonna be actual Sonic games. They're gonna be meant for somebody else, not for the old school people."
Now, are these mobile Sonic games the same ones that they're selling extra lives for on Amazon right now? Because that's a thing.
That I didn't know about.
Yeah. Seriously?
Yes.
Damn.
Real
Weird.
money is pervading video games.
There is no shit a 25 extra lives for some Sonic game on Amazon right now.
How does that work? I don't even want to get into
It's
it.
and I believe it's a mobile game. I played the mobile game recently after reading up on this article to kind of test it. It's your standard mobile game. You can open it up. You could play it for like 2 minutes and put it back down.
But it's a Sonic game?
It is a Sonic game.
Like a Sonic 1?
Do you remember the bonus stage from Sonic 2 where you're running down the tunnel?
There you go.
That's it?
Pretty much.
That's essentially what it is. Now.
What? Sega, get your shit together!
Oh, he's looking right at the camera on that one.
Where did you?
Oh hey, there's a camera.
There's
oh,
a
yeah,
camera.
Where'd that
Hi.
camera come
Hello,
from?
camera.
Wow.
Shit.
So, my opinion on Sega in general is that everybody who grew up loving Sega doesn't really care that much about new Sonic games.
You wouldn't care about a new Sonic game?
No, I haven't played a new Sonic game since Dreamcast.
You wouldn't even care about a Sonic game that recaptured what was so awesome about those original
How many
Sonic
new
games?
platformers do I play?
You play old school platformers.
I play old school platformers, the ones I know.
See, I think you're the exception. Because
Am I?
I look forward to new Sonic games, and I've given up
Okay.
because they can't get it right.
I would give it a
I might-
go if
I
I
might be
found
the
out that there
exception.
was going to be a good Sonic game coming out. I would, sure, I'd give it a try.
Given a limited amount of resources,
Mhm.
say you've got 50 people, I don't know how
Yeah.
many people Sega employs, but you've got 50 people, and you put all of your eggs in this fucking Sonic basket, and you ignore
Everything else.
the Shining Force, or like
A Dragon Force.
or like any of the other genres and IPs that they have, they've got a huge stable, and they just don't use any of them.
Mm.
They leave most of the horses in there and just chewing on oats.
Yeah, they've got plenty of wells that they don't visit. They need to visit some of those fucking wells.
Send drops
It's a
in
problem.
buckets.
It is. Because Sega, you're absolutely right. They have tons of great things they could make stuff out of, and they just don't.
Sega's like, look, bro, we're hurting. We need money. That mobile market,
Dat mobile
Easy
market.
money.
we're
That's
gonna
the
we're gonna
thing.
set it up to where you like little Timmy, who's 10 years old,
He
uses
won't
his
know
mom's
any
phone.
better.
He's gonna buy those extra lives to keep playing.
That's fine. You can also, remake or even just port any of their old RPGs to mobile and charge $10 or $12 for it.
Yeah.
It's too easy. It makes too much sense.
I would buy Dragon Force
That's
on
fair.
my cell phone
Absolutely.
in a second.
I don't know if it would ever run though. There's no way a phone can.
Saturn seems to have much
I don't
for
know.
standard
Dude,
right
smartphones
now.
are fucking crazy.
Yeah,
They are, but
It's top
the
of the line.
Saturn emulation's a problem for laptops.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because
Oh,
of
jeez.
because the Saturn ran a dual core architecture.
Way to be fucking difficult, Sega. You fucking released your system.
They already-
Surprise! It's coming out.
They already paid for that mistake.
Well, they did.
Yeah, but I mean, they
Big
could
time.
do like Dragon Force 2, which wasn't on the Sega
Electric
Saturn.
Yes, it
Boogaloo.
was. Saturn. The Dragon Force 2 was on the Saturn.
Just make a from the ground
Okay,
up Dragon
but
Force
was
game
also on
mobile.
other consoles like the
Dragon Force
PS2.
Money.
Dragon Force was ported to the PlayStation 2. Yes. The sequel was never released outside of the Saturn.
No.
We're off topic.
Yes, we are.
In either event,
Get you.
you could get ones that weren't made on the Saturn.
Valkyria Chronicles 3. Give it to me.
Speaking of video game companies that are getting into the handheld market or mobile market, let's say, Nintendo unveiled their new mobile app.
What a fucking joke.
Miitomo.
I don't. I mean,
Look, you guys don't have like problems like meeting new people and like.
I don't
maybe-
care to meet new people.
Maybe there's new hobbies you have now that I just I don't know about, and if I get on the app, I can go, oh, Patrick is now into gardening.
How is Mario not
Pat's into spending
The
money.
first mobile game.
See, that's the misconception, and I blame Michael Pachter. Yes, you, Michael Pachter, you fuck.
Boy,
Back at the
That's
camera.
twice.
I am
My
calling
guy
some people out.
loves this camera.
Come at
He
me.
does.
Come at
He's
me.
made for it. Like,
But no,
He does
he's
have a pretty face for camera.
Nintendo never flat out said, yes, we're going to bring Mario, Zelda, Metroid to smartphones. All they said was, we have smartphone games in development, and Pokemon Go was the first one they announced.
Yes,
Uh,
which looks awesome.
it does
and then
look
they
awesome.
went with Miitomo.
Miitomo-
Why would you follow up Pokemon Go with that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But
Because like, you can
Miitomo,
catch Pokemon in real life. Oh, and look, you can chat with your friends, even though there's already tons of apps for that already.
Miitomo was made for the Japanese market. That's it. Because they're addicted to their handhelds and mobile, and the applications of like meeting new people just makes more sense for a condensed, packed country, not like the wide-out expanse of the United States.
I was actually going
But
to bring up
it's-
that point as well. Not only is it a more condensed, packed country, their culture is different. It makes more sense over there.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it released here as well.
I was gonna say, but when you're promoting it in America too, that's a misstep.
Right. I'm not saying that's not a misstep. I'm just saying over there, maybe it's not so bad. Here, seems a bit out of place. That's all.
and the video game market in Japan is a fraction of the size of the U.S. Period.
It's true.
Well, in either case, I think, first of all, it's not going to replace Facebook for anything, which is, I'm not sure if that's what they're trying to go for. I mean,
It really seems like it, though, doesn't it? Like,
the game, it's coming out, actually got delayed to next year.
yeah, right.
They said they wanted to get the first game out before the end of the year, and the reason they gave was that they wanted to adequately promote the new game, which I understand, but I mean,
Because if
that's the game they're
if Nintendo
promoting,
has a strength, it's
they're
promoting
doing it wrong.
well, they're only going to do it wrong until it becomes a colossal failure, so.
So until launch day in the States,
We don't know. We'll have to wait a couple months to see how it sells. You look at me like that, Chris.
I think you mean
You look
if
at
it
me.
sells.
It will
It's
sell.
got that public defender hat on.
It will
Tight.
sell. Whether how
does,
well or
yeah.
bad it sells is yet to be seen. Look, I'm not standing up for it. Like, I have no interest in this Miitomo app. None. Zero. I'll download it. I might fiddle around with it for a little bit, but I'm not. It's not Mario on the go or Zelda
No.
or Metroid on the go, which I'm hoping they get to at some point. They said they want to release 5 mobile games by 2017. Which, why wait that long? I don't know.
well, ideally,
It'll
so
get
that they
late.
can properly
Yeah.
develop some decent games. But if Miitomo is the kind of shit they're going to be putting out, then it's just because they want to waste time.
They're taking a very cumbersome console-centric approach to the market where that least needs it.
Mhm.
Like, they need to think
Wait, what do you
very
mean?
small teams. Like, you should be pumping out a game every few months. And
Alright.
it doesn't need big fucking ad revenue dollars behind it. Like, you just put it out, and then word of mouth, online, and between people.
Right. Are you looking for new experiences or just stuff that you want to play on the go as mobile?
It doesn't matter. Both. If you're making a game for your phone, you should be cranking them out like every couple
Yeah,
months.
phone games or
Period.
mobile games aren't designed to be complex.
That's how all these other companies are making huge amounts of money. They put 3 people on it, and it takes them 2 months.
They need to be focusing on making sure the NX is as good as it can be right now. Like, they can do this mobile offshoot stuff, and that's always going to be a source of revenue, but they need to make sure NX is going to be successful, because the Wii U was not.
I don't disagree with that, but there's no reason they can't do both. There's no reason they can't have a team of mobile game makers cranking them out, like Pat said, every few months, and have maybe the majority on the NX making sure that's doing
If
what
that's
it
not what this partnership with whatever, I can't remember the
DNA.
name, DNA is for, then if
Then
it's
why?
taking DNA over a year to make Miitomo, like,
Mhm.
what are they doing?
It definitely seems like something that shouldn't take that long to make. Which, if their argument is in fact they want to publicize it, well, congratulations, Nintendo, you publicized it.
Yeah,
Now
you
fucking
just say
release it.
Nintendo making mobile game, and that hits every website. Like, you don't have to advertise. You don't need marketing. You are Nintendo.
Yeah, they have people fucking standing at the door waiting for Nintendo to go, we're doing this.
There's something not right going on, and that's what I'm pointing to. Like, they're not looking at it correctly, or they're not putting enough resources to it, or something.
So
Something's not right.
So here's the thing in regards to the time frame on the mobile games. Here's why I think the time frames aren't every couple months cranking out an app. So they're not making apps per se.
Mm.
Yes, they are, but they're making games. And the way they look at this market right now is mobile games are shit. And And now I don't want to point to Mitomo as the rule and or example as to what we will be getting on the regular, but at the same time, I'd rather wait a little bit and have a really nice polished game versus another just Flappy Bird.
Thank
I
you for being the
agree.
voice of reason, my
Is
friend.
Mitomo, is Mitomo a game?
I don't even know
It's
what
a social app. It is not. It's a game with a little. It's like 90% social, 10% game.
See, and that's the problem.
Why is it a problem?
They're taking that long to push out something that is basically
How do we
a
know
chat
what's
function.
My turn, because I've been hanging on for a little bit here.
John
You said you
trying
wanted
to get shit
conflict.
in and just-
Chris, what was the time frame on that game? How long did it take them to make it?
Well, if they've pushed it back to next year now,
Which one? I'm referring to Mitomo.
right? Which they pushed back to.
like March next year or something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's say
how long
they
have they been
started
working
that.
on it?
Let's say they started it
That's
yesterday.
That's not what I asked you. How long have they been working on it?
We don't know when they started it.
They didn't announce it.
You don't
But-
know. So you guys are judging them on a time frame that you guys don't even have.
But I'm telling you, let's say they started it today.
Sure.
We'll pretend that we knew nothing about it before today, and they literally got a bunch of guys together in a room and went, "We're gonna do this by March." That's 4 months to push out basically nothing.
I think because it's the
Have you played the game?
No, but
By all appearances, no.
but at that point, you're just saying you're being skeptical about it. Stop being skeptical about it.
You guys are judging a product that you haven't played, you haven't seen, and you don't know 100%
But we do
about.
that all the time about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Sure, but you guys are sitting there trying to tell me how long it takes to make a game. They're trying to change the culture in the mobile market.
Okay.
You're not
And
going to
I-
change the culture of the mobile gaming market with games that you produce in 2 months.
it's the
You're also not gonna do it with fucking social games.
it's the
That's
classic.
not- you don't know that either.
It's the classic Nintendo example. They're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. Everyone felt that they rushed the Wii U out and look at what happened. And now they're taking a little bit that he had this mobile app come out. Oh, what the fuck are they doing? Sitting on their goddamn asses? They can't win! Next segment.
No.
Ryan's
The tyrant!
And had I had more time with my Polygon story,
We can go back.
Chris Olsen even makes mention that the way they're going to change the culture is they're going to spend more time developing these games for the mobile market. They're not going to rush them anymore.
I don't disagree with spending time. I disagree with spending time on something that, by all appearances, amounts to a chat room with some sort of bullshit functionality.
I kind of do argue with the premise. If you're gonna make money in mobile, you don't spend months doing it. You just make something that's gonna make money.
It depends how much you're charging for it.
It's
True.
How popular
That's
it is.
true. No, that's true. That's true. And that there's plenty of support to what you're saying. All I'm saying is show up, Nintendo. Come on, just make me believe again. Make me believe again. Make me give a shit. They're not doing it. I want them to make me care again.
This is a medium that's all about dollars and cents. And Quake Live now you have to pay $10 in order to play.
Nice.
We do segues. That's what we do.
Pat, you said you wanted more conflict.
We do segues.
No more free to play. Oh, and by the way, the player statistics from like the past 4 or 5 years have been wiped as well.
I would be so
Whoops.
Oops.
Yep.
Oopsie doodles.
If you will put dedicated time into that game, and it's just no, it doesn't matter. We changed the way you play it or the way you pay to play it, and now all of that gets erased too.
Well,
no big deal.
from the sounds of things, there was a huge update that dropped along with it.
Yeah. So in
No.
in making this change, there was a subscription and a free-to-play model basically together.
Mhm.
There's a $10 flat fee to pay or to play now, and everybody gets the same benefits across the entire game.
Right.
So they're basically going to $10, play the game. Everybody's getting the same thing. A lot of maps were tweaked, a lot of features were added, bugs fixed. But the big thing was, we got all these sweet features, but all the statistics went away.
Yeah, which
Everybody's statistics just went bye-bye.
I said it.
Years of work gone.
See, like I get the update, and even if the update added new stuff and deleted old stuff, I get how like Smash Brothers. Whenever Smash Brothers updates, the videos we record are no longer viewable, right?
Yeah,
It's so irritating.
It's
dumb.
irritating. It's irritating, but at least it makes a little bit of sense because they changed the way damage values are done and all that, and the way they record is related to that. I can understand if it was something similar for Quake, but at least I think they should have put in like a pre-update statistics and a post-update statistics, so people still have a record of what they did.
Sure, that would have made sense.
I am not a Quake Live player, so I don't know if it really affects anything. But,
I don't think anybody here is.
In our pre-show fist fight, and I think I'm about to steal Ryan's thunder here, we did discuss playing Call of Duty.
My thunder! Oh shit.
Smooth.
And how it would suck for any one of us if we just magically showed up one day and all our fucking stats were gone.
Start over.
Especially considering in the newer games, like, it'll carry over your stats from multiple previous games. Like, you can see it in Black Ops 2, you can see your prestige level and all your other shit from, like, games as old as Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bro, I worked hard for that 2.5 KD.
You know, good kid,
Sure,
dude.
yeah.
That sweet heart
flop,
rate
flop
monitor.
your big old KD in the room.
Yeah, but I didn't
Flop
have,
it on the
like, near
table.
as many kills as, say,
Flop
like,
it on the
Pac-Man.
table.
I got kills. That's what I did.
It's true.
I ran fast. I shot people. I died a lot too.
I
But
think the only stat I can claim is I played the longest of anyone. Because I did Prestige all the way in Black Ops.
Did you really play the longest out of it?
no, yeah, he got all.
I played when no one else would play. Like, I would
Yeah,
be
you
up by
played
myself
long most of the time.
online. And Mike's like, what are you doing? Why do you do that? I'm like, oh, I want a Prestige.
Like I don't.
He was playing the inferior Call of Duty.
You're just wrong. Like this comes up every week, and you're not right.
It does come up.
I am right.
No, you're not. You're the only one in the room that thinks that.
Yeah, I voted 4-1, bro.
That doesn't make me any less right.
You know, that's what crazy people say too.
The government's totally.
I'm just tired of this
I am
going.
not
I'm just
wrong.
tired of that being said, and then us not challenging you on it. Like, no, you're just wrong. You're wrong.
In fact, I get challenged every week on it. Literally every time I mention it, I get challenged.
Not
on
last
it.
week. I edit. I remember.
Okay, so literally every time minus one, I get challenged.
Well, I'm gonna bring it back to this week too. It's the best.
So I played a new game recently I acquired.
Nuh-uh.
Which game?
Yeah.
You play games?
I actually bought a wrestling game for the first time in quite some time, actually.
Wow.
Okay.
Which one?
Probably since the PS2 days. That's how long it's been. It was WWE 2K16. And as per the usual, when you're doing a creative player and coming up with backstories and nicknames, I spent about 5 hours on that.
Like you do.
But did you
And,
make Optimus Prime?
No, I did not make Optimus Prime.
That's an option.
You probably can.
The things you can make.
Dude,
creative-
have you seen these creator wrestlers
They're
that people make
hilarious.
online?
They're
Like,
Seriously.
people have made just fucking ridiculous
It's
stuff.
awesome.
So, wrestling games have gotten kind of complicated. It's no more like just grapple,
Into the ropes.
right B to do this move or so on and so forth. It's like you gotta rotate this direction, and then then there's like this other meter that pops up, and then you have these two circles that spin.
That's how I feel about. That's how I feel about basketball and football games anymore. Especially
goodness.
basketball games, because like all the dribbling and stuff, you have to like the dual sticks with
Yeah,
the dribbling and all that
yeah.
kind of stuff. It's like, no thanks. I'm just gonna go back and play NBA Street.
You just want to run from side to side of the court.
Yeah, well, side to
Throw the
side,
ball.
you one button to shoot, one button to pass.
There you go.
And if you want to get fancy, you can alley oop a guy and then run up behind him and then you can alley oop yourself.
And
That's
then you
just
can just
complicated.
foul a guy.
That's as complicated as I need.
Yeah.
And you're like worried about going between the legs and Stephen Curry and people. And it's like,
What's cool is like how in NBA they have like the D leagues, right?
mm,
Well, in wrestling they have what's called the NX Championships or NX Championship Wrestling or whatever. It's actually owned by WWE, and that's sort of their D league.
mm.
That's where all the wrestlers come up through now.
Like a farm system, kind of?
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's where you start off. You have to win that championship in order to get on the WWE roster. And then you can
Make it to the
start-
league.
Nice.
Yeah, you gotta
Big
make it to
leagues.
the league, exactly. What's cool about this is now you get the card lineup for the night. You can see what matches are going on, and you can choose who you want to like interrupt. Like you can like
That's kind of cool.
yeah,
That's
you can
cool.
pick who you want your rival
Pick your
to be. You
feuds.
can go help like yeah. So like let's say like I want to get on like I want to be partnered with Sting. Like, what's he got? Oh, he's going for the belt tonight. I'm gonna interfere that match. I'm gonna help him win the belt, and then try to get him to like help me be my tag partner or
You
something.
yank the ref's legs, knocking him out, and throw the belt, the baseball bat into
There
him,
you go.
and then he knocks the guy out with the baseball bat, and then you wake the ref up, who doesn't look to see who's waking him up, or that you shouldn't be there. He's like, oh wait, there's a match here. 1, 2, 3. Sting's the new tag partner. That's
Yes.
cool. That's pretty cool.
Is Earl Hebner still a ref in WWE?
I didn't see him,
Oh.
but you know what though, like. I'm finally at a point where like I kind of feel I can't watch wrestling anymore, but at least I can enjoy that cheesy ball BS in a wrestling game.
Yeah, it lends itself to
When you get to
being
be
a
the
lot better.
producer
on it,
It's a little different.
Yeah,
Because you don't feel as guilty.
right. What it
Because you're
is,
playing
yeah.
a midget game.
You're right. I don't feel as guilty.
The man soap opera.
Totally.
So I won my first match by disqualification.
All
Because the
right.
guy got out and grabbed a baseball bat from underneath the ring and hit me right in front of the ref.
Yeah, you gotta knock the ref out first.
And I was like, oh, well, that's not how I was expecting to win, but I'll take it, I guess.
A win's a win, baby.
Oh, yeah. So it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to putting some more time into it. And it's probably... I'm not going to say it's nearly as good as, say, WWF Raw on 64. Because I think that one was my favorite because they had some of our favorites, like Bry Guy and I used to watch wrestling
All the
incessantly,
time.
every week. And this was
Stop,
during
stop here.
the quote-unquote
Oh, stop
Attitude
here,
Era,
somewhere.
where they had, like... Ryan, you remember the 24/7 hardcore title?
You sent me a text message of Vince McMahon from one of the WWF games,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that was it.
So, for I think in a game room first, we're actually going to look at some of Pat's games on his shelf.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know you picked these up in a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, John's point, wrestling was a huge part of our lives when we were growing up.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, this game right here, WCW vs NWO
World Tour was the one
That's
I
a
played the
goodie.
most on
That's a goodie.
N64.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I did play a lot of WWF. Was it Warzone or Raw? Just Raw.
I think it was Raw.
It was one of the first create a wrestler modes that I ever used, and
Yeah.
it was, it was
On
hilarious.
N64?
On N64.
Yeah. I would play, like, my favorite wrestling game, I think, not
No Mercy, another good one.
World Tour. What was the one after World Tour? Revenge? Yeah, WCW vs. NWO Revenge.
Yes.
Oh,
That was probably my favorite wrestling game on
Revenge?
N64.
Yeah, Revenge was really good.
But the creator wrestler in the WWF game was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't do that in the WCW games, which is a bummer. But the THQ wrestling games always felt better. Like there was
Yeah.
consistency to them for one, so you
Yeah.
knew how to play them without ever really paying attention. Like it was all muscle memory by the time you got to it. And then
Did Acclaim make the WWF ones?
yeah, well, No Mercy was THQ.
That's true.
God, I have to look at it to be honest.
Oh,
Bless
that's
you.
you.
I know the creator wrestler ones.
Sorry.
like the first couple on N64 weren't.
Mayhem?
That's Electronic Arts, yeah.
Ooh. I bet you said the entire Electronic Arts. No, that is not a wrestling game,
No,
folks.
it's
That is
not.
Jeremy McGrath Supercross 2000 quality game.
So if you had to pick one wrestling game, John,
Quality.
what would you pick?
I almost feel like I have to pick Raw.
Yeah.
A close second is probably WCW Revenge.
WCW vs. NWO Revenge was really good, right?
I'm gonna go to a system generation earlier and say WrestleMania for Super Nintendo. And it was very arcadey, and I love me some arcade games, but it was nothing like playing this Doink. Whipping Undertaker off the ropes,
Yeah.
or using Shawn Michaels and that sweet chin music. I don't know. I like that
Was
game.
that the one that let you wrestle with 32 guys in the ring at once?
I don't think the Super Nintendo can handle 30.
There was a wrestling game
Yeah.
in 16-bit.
Really?
Was it Royal Rumble?
I think it was Raw.
WWF Royal Rumble?
I think.
Yeah, where you could have it might have been like 24.
It's still a
but
lot.
the ring was full. Like it was it was corner to corner wrestling sports.
2 frames per second.
Yeah. I don't remember it being that bad. I don't remember that having that kind of bad slowdown.
We should
to
find it. And,
Yeah, we
and check
should.
it.
Because I don't have it. I don't have that game. I know of at least.
So I'm gonna go with WrestleMania. Gentlemen?
These guys aren't really.
Yeah, I'm with Chris on that one.
Yeah.
Wrestling was a part of your lives, and I watched like a few of the.
Open your mouth
with
and then
John.
Yeah.
But I never got into it. It always seemed kind of dumb to me. And no offense to
I
you guys.
was the one crushing wrestling fans' dreams.
You know wrestling's fake, bro, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shut up!
Hey man, did you see blah 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 in the match last night? I'm like, oh, you mean that sweet scripted whatever happened?
Well, that's like how John is his video. He's like, hey man, you want to watch wrestling? I was like, wrestling's fake. He's like, yeah, but who cares?
Yeah, but I had
He's
friends
like-
that legit believed it was real,
Yeah.
and I went out of my way to crush their souls on it.
John was just like,
Kind of a
it's
dick.
cool. The backstories are cool. Like,
Have you met me?
That's true.
All right, so maybe not everyone has a favorite wrestling game, but I'm willing to
didn't get to say
bet.
mine.
I'm willing to bet we all have.
I didn't get to say
I
mine.
like that we just glossed over it. Yes?
I didn't get to say mine. John knows what mine's gonna be, and that's why he doesn't want me to say it.
Go ahead, say it.
No, it's not even a wrestling game. It's not. It's Def Jam Fight for New York. It's a fighting game built on a wrestling games engine, featuring rappers
Fair enough.
and like chicks in miniskirts fighting each other.
Fair enough.
fair enough.
That game sold me when you could throw a guy in front of a subway train
Right. So
to win the match.
Wasn't it like Ice-T that you had to throw in front of the subway?
You watched me play that game.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was.
I watched John play through that whole thing when he lived with his dad.
I don't remember who it
DMX?
was. It wasn't Ludacris.
DMX?
Was it DMX? I don't remember. I have to look into it. Snoop Dogg was the bad guy in the first one. No, second one. Yeah, in Fight for New York.
Oh yeah, it was.
Because the in the first game it was just the big guy that's on the cover. I can't remember his name, but you
Yeah.
end up working for him. I think in the second one.
Ah.
It's been ages.
Ages ago.
That'd be my favorite wrestling game. It's not even really a wrestling game, but
Yeah,
it had the best creative fighter to
Yes.
that day,
yeah.
and Henry Rollins. Henry Rollins was the guy. Yeah, he's the guy who trains you. Yeah, yeah. That game had star power.
Alright. John.
Love Henry Rollins.
It's good.
So everybody has a favorite wrestling game, but we don't all have favorite wrestling games, but we all have favorite controllers.
Stealing!
More segues.
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 Mm.
You guys ever in the Segway?
No, I haven't.
You got to get a little lean going. If you go too far, it's
You
go out of control.
fly.
It's a balancing act.
When I was in college, I went right on Michigan Avenue, and I would look into Grant Park across the street at Segway classes, and they were freaking hilarious. At least you'd see one person fall off every single class.
there's so
Did you say Segway classes?
Segway classes.
Teaching
like,
like
this
how
is
to
a-
ride a Segway.
Yes, exactly.
it's not as foolproof as you
It
think.
was hilarious.
They got Segways now where they don't have the thing to hold on to anymore.
Right,
You
would
just
not
lean.
want
It's
to-
just a
Nope.
point, yeah.
One of the best costumes I saw on Facebook was a guy who had a carpet
Yeah.
that he stood on top of that thing, and he was dressed as Aladdin.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it was Halloween yesterday.
that guy wins best costume.
And that's our favorite controllers.
Hey! Chris was like, "Hey, I want to segue this. It's gonna be neat and orderly," and I was like, "Nope,
Here's the rails.
get the rails."
There's us over there.
Look, we all know the most efficient and best controller of all time is the N64 controller.
Up top,
And you
yeah.
were born with
Oh!
3 hands.
You don't?
So, quick story
First
about
instance
that.
of analog sticks.
True.
Yes. No. Well, yes.
Quick story about that. When I worked at a convenience store back in like 05 or 06, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Weekly World News.
I subscribed to it.
Did you really?
I'm not even joking. I had a subscription.
Woo,
to
tabloids!
Weekly World
The
News.
Weekly World News was like the tabloid that like stereotypical tabloids are based on. Aliens are coming to Earth.
Bad
you
Boy.
know, Bat Boy. Fucking. I saw a picture where a dude's eyes were photoshopped to be literally bigger than his head. And one was about a video game system coming from Saturn. And I read this because I worked at a convenience store that sold the magazine, so I read it every week. And the system was fairly irrelevant, but they were talking about how Earth people couldn't play it because they didn't have enough fingers. You needed 16 fingers to play on these controllers. On the picture, no shit, is some doofy, fucked up looking, alien looking dude with a Nintendo 64 controller.
Nice. Nice.
In its day, for its day, the N64 controller was amazing.
Oh yeah,
It was.
Right.
It was.
I
It
will
was just
freely,
poorly thought out.
I will freely admit,
For-
the first time I opened it, it
Why,
said,
why was it thought up poorly?
Because you had an analog stick here, and then you had a D-pad over here.
Yeah, but there was very
Then
few.
you couldn't, like...
you rarely
reach
need
You
across.
really needed the
Insane.
D-pad.
Yeah, but okay, so you're playing GoldenEye, right? And then you can do that, which nobody did, or you go left on the analog and then use the C buttons to strafe.
Right.
That was 1.2.
Yep.
I don't remember what it was called though.
Honeydew?
Was it
Honey melon?
Honey pot? Honey something?
On top of that, you had that sweet Z trigger.
That Z trigger was pretty awesome.
The Z trigger was actually a great idea, but it wasn't behind the D-pad too. Like there was only the one, so you had to be using the joystick.
I very, very rarely recall the D-pad even being utilized in most N64 games.
Right,
Because there was no need for it.
it was unnecessary.
If you're looking for an N64 controller, there's two of them up here.
Wait, here we go.
Ryan, you passed two of them.
See, I don't look behind me.
That's obvious.
So you know, N64. You never played games like that. Who the fuck played games like that?
I did.
What game? Tell me.
What? You want me to roll through my
I
categories?
bet.
I do.
But
I
here's
bet
what I
people
like.
playing Pokemon Puzzle League did that.
But here's what I like about the controller.
Oh, yeah. Pokemon
It
Puzzle.
gave you the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
You could play like that, and then you could bring one finger over, the other finger over for that. You could do that, which is what I did.
Yep.
Or for whatever reason, if this is how, that doesn't.
It
You'd
just
have to
doesn't
reach
feel
over.
Right.
But if that's what you wanted to do, you could.
Right. It gave you options.
Yeah. So that's
Unlike
for its day. This was fucking ridiculous. Like that's a lot of buttons.
A lot of
You
buttons.
need 16 fingers to play it.
The closest thing to it, I mean, this was right after the PlayStation, which had 4 face buttons.
4 shoulder buttons.
Yeah,
Four
2
shoulders.
on each side, so 4, so that's 8. I don't count start in select, so it had 8.
8 buttons. And
8
a
buttons.
D-pad.
And the
And a
original
D-pad.
PlayStation controller didn't come with joysticks.
No,
That's why we said 8 buttons and a D-pad.
Yeah.
Right.
and then the Saturn was 6 face buttons,
Mhm.
and then 2 shoulders, and then start.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that a developer could do
Absolutely.
with this that they couldn't with any of the other systems.
It gave what I remember most is when I played Mario 64, camera control. You use those C buttons for camera control.
Yeah.
It was glorious.
Yeah,
The game was made for the controller.
that was definitely a tech demo. In game
Exactly
form.
what it was.
But it was an amazing tech demo.
So that's my favorite controller.
The N64 is your favorite controller?
That's my favorite controller. It's
Oh, yeah?
not necessarily, I think, the best controller.
Okay,
Okay.
that's funny.
Yeah, should we go
You
around?
did know what I was gonna say.
Yep.
You said you didn't, but I did. Yeah, Ryan, what do you got for your favorite controller?
My favorite controller is actually the GameCube controller. It is only second to what I think the best one is, but it's my personal favorite. Now, for anything other than fighting games, it was fantastic. Fighting games, the layout was a little wonky,
Yeah.
but like it just felt so good in your hands. So good in your hands. That's right. No, it was very it was very ergonomical, very comfortable and easy to play with. The very first like decent wireless controller was the Wavebird, which is one of my absolute favorite controllers. Like the Wavebird's
I
awesome.
forgot about the Wavebird.
So we don't use them anymore.
But it just had that big, nice, squishy A button. You never knew where you had to put your thumb. It's just right there. The only thing I didn't like about the controller was the D-pad. It was a little too small and it was a little too far down. But other than that, I love the GameCube controller. Yes, yes. Who next?
Patrick would be next.
I'm torn.
Yeah?
I'm torn because
What?
everybody knows the best controller is Xbox One. Just it is. But you can't beat the functionality and flexibility of mouse and keyboard, which is on the computer. But I don't think we really need to do that because it's not technically a controller. It's a mouse and a keyboard.
Input.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Xbox 360.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Reason?
It's the predecessor to the best controller.
There you go.
Actually, no, I'll take that back. My favorite controller is the Xbox S or the
Really?
J or whatever they called it.
Oh,
The Japanese,
that they slimmed
the
down.
Japanese version of the dinner plate.
Like,
They do?
I've got big hands,
Yeah.
but I couldn't hold an original Xbox controller. I
Because they
feel
were
like-
ridiculous.
I
No
seriously
wonder
felt
they
like I was holding it like the biggest hamburger I'd ever had.
It's like somebody took a Dreamcast controller and doubled it.
I feel like they took Shaq and modeled the controller after his hands.
The Japanese version of that controller was a lot better, and
Yeah.
the only thing that they really changed between Xbox to Xbox 360 is they took the buttons that were down on the bottom left for black
Oh,
and
the
white,
The black and white buttons.
and they moved them. Yeah, they moved them to shoulders.
Which was way better.
Yeah, but that design, the offset analog sticks, I cannot stress enough how phenomenal an idea that
Oh, right,
is.
absolutely.
Especially for first-person shooters.
Absolutely.
Was that the first controller to do offset? Because
yes.
the DualShocks had them right next to each other.
Yeah, they're right next to each other on DualShock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. When it comes to off,
Off kilter.
yeah.
Nice.
Was it the S controller or was it just some other special third party model? Because I remember Sherlock had one that actually blew cool air into your hands.
That's
That's
definitely.
that's aftermarket. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a.
I do remember,
I was
but it was like
cool.
tiny. Like they made some really small Xbox. Like they made the
Yeah.
Duke. Then like
the douche.
that's what the original one's called. Is that like the first controller that ever needed like a cultural impact to make a smaller controller? Because
Yeah, because smaller Japanese hands.
couldn't
Yeah.
fit
Smaller
right. I mean,
Yeah. Well, that's what I heard.
well, that's what
That's racist.
What?
That's our favorite thing to say in this room. I thought that's just say everything's racist,
That's right.
You know what my favorite word is?
Is it cunt?
dude.
Nice.
The word, the word. That's
No.
the first high five of the episode, by the way. And it
That's
was,
the second high five of the episode.
who else high fived?
Me and John did.
Oh shit.
Yeah, cunt.
Yeah. Oh no! You tricked me. It was too late. My hand was already in the air. I couldn't pull it back in time. Damn it.
I just don't get why people hate the word cunt. I don't get it.
I don't want to go into it.
This is just spillover from the Let's Play.
Yeah, it is.
It is, which was awesome, and I watch it every other day.
That's true. He does watch it a lot.
So you hear that word a lot.
Yeah, I try to drown it out when it comes up.
So Chris's favorite controller
You know,
is.
listen, I'm saying, if a chick comes at you with an electrified whip and tries hitting you with it, she'd be a cunt. That's what's happening there. It's just she's gonna calm down. Maybe like
Put the whip down.
put the whip down, negotiate. Maybe not try and hit me with the whip.
If somebody legit tries to murder me, I feel like it is my prerogative to call them what I like.
Yeah, you call me whatever you want.
Alright, we used to throw it around.
It's like that Hannibal Buress scare. Where he's like, yeah, someone steals $10,000 from me, I call him whatever the fuck I want.
Exactly.
That's the territory I feel like we're in.
You were throwing around Cavalier and everything out there.
Only in reference to the chicks with the whips.
Fine.
You've seen the video as much as I have. You know what I'm
Fine.
talking about.
Fine.
And your favorite controller. You like the Genesis controller, right?
I do. It's the best. No,
No.
It added a third button.
it did.
Yeah, and I love.
Before there were only two.
Yeah.
The Genesis was like, dude, we'll give you three.
We'll give you one more.
Let's ignore the
I
fact.
said two.
Let's just ignore for a second that you don't need those three buttons because A, B, and C all jump for Sonic. But
Not only do they all jump for Sonic, but in most games you don't use more than two anyway.
Yeah.
Like
Ain't
off the
seen
top
the same
of my
thing.
head, cannot remember a single game that uses all three buttons.
Tecmo Super Bowl.
Street Fighter
There
2,
you go.
and you had to press start to do kicks.
Unless you had the updated.
The six
Which,
Yeah.
yes.
I had
which is
that
much-
yeah.
controller. It was
The six-
amazing for Street Fighter.
The six
Oh,
button was
yeah.
great for every fighting game that came out.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Why own the first one? Just get the 6-button one.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
It's the way to go.
Anyway,
Favorite controller?
my favorite controller, for the exact opposite reasons as Pat, is the PS3 controller. I like the N-line analog sticks.
You're the only
Really?
person.
Really?
Yes, you're it.
You're literally
I
the
can't-
other
You're the
person
one.
to say that.
He's the one. We found him. We found the guy that likes the PS controller over the Xbox. I've been looking for you for years. You're like my Neo.
Do you remember when they first unveiled the battering controller?
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
PS3? Do you remember it was all silver and it was shaped like a boomerang?
Oh,
I should
yeah,
fi-
when it was supposed to be all high-tech and different, and
Yeah,
they're
like,
like, no,
You had a
JK.
new formula. Why change it?
Yeah, and then they went back because they realized that it was
It was
fucking
awful.
retarded. Yeah.
They just wanted it to look futuristic enough.
Ken Kutaragi.
Alright.
Yeah,
so
but it
wha-
looks futuristic enough by losing the fucking wired controller. You're tethered to the fucking system.
The PS3 controller felt a little too light for me.
I think that was part of the reason why it was nice, because it still had everything that it needed. It had plenty of battery life. It had shoulder buttons comfortably positioned, and like I said, it had inline analog sticks, which was great for me.
In that sweet 6-axis.
6-axis is irrelevant because that was just their way of ripping off the Wii.
I know. That's all I have
I
to say.
forgot about that.
And the great part was
So
it
funny.
didn't even work the way it was supposed to, so they had to come out with the PlayStation Move controllers.
Didn't work the way it was supposed to, meaning it didn't work at all.
It worked alright.
It sort of works.
But
NBA 2K6, I think was the game that came out with that. 2K7. It worked alright with that. I played the whole launch lineup of PS3. The controller worked alright, but
Yeah.
It was all gimmicky crap.
Yeah, the motion controls worked as intended, but they weren't intended to work well.
Right.
You know what though? Give it credit where it needs. It basically has a plug and play kit that comes with a controller. Like that charge cable comes with the system now.
Yeah, which was great.
Oh.
Yeah, so like I know I go through AA's like crazy on the Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
I have
that's true.
rechargeables.
Yeah.
Woo!
I seem to find myself needing AA batteries in lots of different places. I never have them, so I just buy big bulks of them.
And I'm not opposed to that, but I have a set of rechargeables specifically for my Xbox One controller.
So I will. You know, I'll give the PS3 that at least. It's feather light, and I don't like it being that light, but at least it's plug and play or plug and charge or play and charge or whatever you want to call it right out of the box.
Sweet.
You know what isn't Featherlight?
Hmm.
Mikey.
Dude,
Oh!
I'm a big dude. I know it.
It's true.
What's
He-
your
he
favorite
fat joke.
controller?
My favorite controller is actually the controller I spent the most time with when I was growing up, and that would be the Super Nintendo controller.
All right, up top, love it. I'll sit down now. Why? Tell us.
It just it felt good in the hand, especially upgrading from the NES. That square, that rectangular,
Jamming into
like,
your hands.
Yeah, man, that thing would stab me.
Yeah, it would.
And then the nice round, smooth edges of the the nice round, smooth sides of the SNES controller. It's just it felt good. It looked good. It was like, man, I can't look at all these buttons. For the Super Nintendo days, it had one more than the Genesis.
Well, technically,
Three
like
more. Three.
Yeah,
shoulder
buttons
buttons
and
and
L and R.
I forgot saying it didn't
The
have
first
the LNR, but
controller with shoulder buttons, if I'm not mistaken.
as far as I'm aware,
I don't. You know, I'd have to look to see what TurboGrafx had on it.
I don't think it did have shoulder buttons.
TurboGrafx?
I don't think it did.
think so either.
Hmm.
I think TurboGrafx was just another 2 or 3 button controller.
Yeah.
Either way, it's entirely nostalgia based. I just, like I said, I spent the most time with it,
Sure.
specifically on Zelda: Link to the Past.
It is my second favorite
Well,
controller.
The Super-
Did the SNES come out before the quote updated Genesis controller?
I have no idea.
Mm,
90,
That's a great
90
question.
and
Because that
Japan.
did have shoulder buttons, I'm pretty sure.
had a mode button, if anything. You're thinking of the Saturn.
it had a clicky. It had a
I'm
clicky.
certain the Saturn controller did, but I thought the updated
Well, let me look.
Sega controller.
That's
did
going
as
to
well.
rummage around.
Let me look.
We've got them all somewhere.
We do.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. Well, no, it has the mode button, like I said.
A mode button.
Yeah.
Okay, so not in fact shoulder buttons,
Gotcha.
but
The SNES controller was a direct response to the Genesis controller. That's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
That's not mixed words here.
it obviously was.
But it was better.
It
Yes,
was
it
just
was.
it was just a question of
One button and shoulder buttons better, actually.
That's true. Hi.
I love the D-pad feel of it. I still do.
It does have a better
It's a good
D-pad.
And that's very important especially for old school games. You gotta have a good feeling. Pat can attribute to this when you play Mega Man the remix.
Yeah,
the Xbox.
the Xbox One D-pad is garbage for that game. It just is. I try to slide so much and I don't. It won't. Just fucking slide.
D-pads have gone downhill.
Because we
Actually,
don't use them anymore.
I would actually argue that the NES has a better D-pad than the Super Nintendo. Granted, the Super Nintendo is a bigger one, but the NES one was just so like responsive when you clicked on it. It was just very tight. I don't know.
It made my thumb hurt.
Yeah,
It's because you're always pushing right,
Yeah.
as you do.
as you do when you play Nintendo. Who's going left? Not me.
Samus, you go left a lot in that game.
Oh, some of the later Mega Mans, you gotta go right and then left and then right again.
Yeah, that's true.
There are some small intervals of left tossed into your right,
But mostly right.
but mostly right.
Almost entirely right.
Here's what I would like to do.
Mm.
I would like to go left to Rye Guy and have him do the outro. I normally ask, but it's been a while since I could actually see Rye Guy do it.
It's been a while. It has.
Mhm.
And it's also
seeing as how this is
contextually
the first
appropriate.
video,
Actual full-length episode, right?
Yeah.
This one, because the first one died halfway through or something.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, did we ever post that?
It's up.
It's up.
Oh, it's
It
up.
should be deleted.
It should.
It cuts out right when
Well,
you're talking.
I think I'm right around here somewhere, and it cuts off.
Nice.
I'll do
Feels
that.
wrong. I gotta ask
Yeah,
it.
you
Now,
throw-
now I'm feeling
throwing it
weird.
off.
Feeling odd.
I vote we have Ryan do it.
I can do it.
Can you remember it?
I can remember it.
You sure?
Yes, I can.
So the question is,
Hand me the Pip-Boy.
what the hell do you want the outro to be?
Well, generally, when we fall into these situations,
What is?
I would say
What
let's
is going on?
have Ryan do it.
So why Pip-Boy?
Fallout
Fallout.
4 is coming out in the next couple weeks.
Oh,
10
that's
days,
right.
10 days from release.
Oh man, some pre-hype.
Yes.
All right, I'll do the outro. Ready? Alrighty, and remember, kids, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this podcast with you.
He left without the high fives. High fives.
High five!
High fives.
High five! High five! No! I am not high fiving that. I am not. I swear I am not. I promise.
Thanks for watching.
Bye, everybody. I'm not sure what Pitbull sounds like, but trash sounds like this. Did you stop recording already?
No.
Sweet.